What's up guys, the Strong Boys 19 here. This is going to be another album review for a 2021 release, and I'm going to be reviewing the latest album from one of my favourite solo artists, that being the man himself of Blaze Bayley, entitled War Within Me. Now this is his latest album to be released in his solo discography, and this was released through the self-made and released label of Blaze Bayley Recording. Now, I have been quite a fan of Blaze's solo music for some time. For those that don't know this man, Blaze Bayley, very, very underrated and I would say overlooked solo artist in the metal genre, and he's been known for being in the vocal department for previous bands, ex-Wolfsbane vocalist, and the main big popular name being the ex-vocalist of Iron Maiden. And yes, I still think the X Factor is one of the most underrated metal albums ever, and I still defend it. But with this album, Blaze Bayley explores lyrically onto various themes, including some personal struggles, to the aspects of life, and also with the inspiration and also with the cover art as well of the science fiction storyline, as that he had previously made a trilogy of a fictional concept album with that heavy inspiration of the sci-fi theme and presentation. I think with this album, Blaze explores into a versatile and a different approach into what he's been going through personally, and with the tonality of the music. This album is an incredibly diverse and a really good solid album, and I would be really interested to see what you personally think of the album as well. The title track of the album, War Within Me, is a brilliant track. It has this very impactful, cool sound and increases things on its quick tempo and very fast guitar playing, chugging riffs. It remains very consistent onto its energy with a standout chorus that sounds very good, and Blaze's vocals were awesome as well, and as effective as the harmonies go, they sounded just as great. It is a catchy tune onto the precise and blistering action on the musicianship and the guitar solos. One of the really good tracks to start things off and the adrenaline going for what's to come for the rest of the album. The next track on the album, 303, definitely takes things into a lower tuned, bit of a dirgy-ish kind of tonality for me to describe it. And it's got a really good crunchy rhythm section. The music onto this track was packed with a lot of the mood and the melodic guitar arrangements. And again, onto Blaze's vocals, they were explorative and so melodic. It presents a driving essence of power. This is one of my favourite songs on the album, and as well as one of the later tracks, Pull Yourself Up. Now this is where the personal things of lyricism goes, really shapes things, and this track is absolutely excellent. And it's got a wholesome harmonic sound, and the rhythm section was just as brilliant as ever. This is a track that presents a dynamic, effective passages, and as well as the musicianship, it's fantastic. Pull Yourself Up definitely delivers as by itself as a very effective and again, like the title track, a catchy presence of a song. 18 Flights is another really, really good track because it presents a cool variety of brilliant distorting riffs, and the instrumentation to the track was precise and highly passionate. That's what I love a lot on some of the tracks when I listen to Blaze's solo albums, because with the musicians that he works with, they definitely deliver something really spectacular onto something consistent on its driving energy. And this track explores so many different key changes as it just sounds extremely stellar. And once again, onto the tonality of Blaze's vocals, he sounded absolutely awesome on this album. And as well with the vocal performances go, like onto the track of The Power of Nikola Tesla, which presents a thunderous introduction, which is another one of my favorites on the album. Vocally, he just explores on a higher range that sounds just as explosive like the instrumentation of this track. A great sound of aggression, and again with the progressiveness on key changes and structure placements, this is another one of the highlights onto the album. And as well onto one of the later tracks go, the science fiction inspiration and the science-themed track of the unstoppable Stephen Hawking. A mellow, sweet introduction onto the clean guitars and very simple lead patterns. And as it's going into the anticipation, the key change was fantastic. Alternate picking, which increases the diversity and amazing tones of the guitars. And this is a pretty progressive number musically as well. I will have to say that the musicianship on a lot of the tracks sounded as brilliant and powerful. It definitely grows a lot of these dynamics. There's a lot of that awesome depth surrounded this album because the musicianship onto the guitar arrangements to the drumming and the whole consistent package of energy and fantastic results. This album provides what every metal fan should hear when it comes to Blaze's solo albums, and as he continues to present to anyone who's a metal fan the great inspiration and dedication as well to continue that heavy metal connection going. Blaze's vocals on the album, he sounded wonderful on the record. I really like that he becomes very expressive when it comes to some of the instrumental passages where they take things down very gentle and calm, and he just goes into a versatile sound onto his range. The guitar soloing, just as blazing and massively well played, and the driving consistency of the music sounded awesome on this album. So I am curious to know what you personally think of this album in the comments down below, and the production was really well nailed on point here as well. I would have to say that this album, for being Blaze's latest album, is really, really well done from the start to the finish. I would have to say that my personal favourite Blaze album so far will be 10th Dimension, as he had made some other really good, solid to some strong materials of albums earlier on in his career, but definitely check this one out. So that's all I would like to say for The War Within Me by Blaze Bayley, and like I said, let me know what you think of the album in the comments. I'm going to give this album an 8 out of 10. Very, very good. I will personally prefer some of the previous stuff, but this album is still really, really good for anyone to check out. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, I will keep you guys posted for more videos in the near future.